What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk to y'all a little bit today about the rise in crimes committed by teenagers and sometimes people younger than 10 years old. Now, I'm going to play a video out of, I think it's Atlanta. 11 Alive News showed this. So I know it's in Georgia, so shout out to them. But it's about a child, well, not a child, an 18-year-old boy that wound up running from police and crashing into a school bus at an intersection and wound up exchanging shots with police officers while he was on the run, was hit himself in return fire from said police officers. And now he's locked up and hospitalized. But it's a rise of just violence out here from younger members of society that got their whole life ahead of them, and I don't understand it. I know a lot of you guys don't understand it either. Now, a lot of people can blame single mothers. They can blame men being incarcerated. At this point, we got to get a hold of this, y'all, because I mean, future looking bleak for a lot of us out here. And it ain't just the black community. It's all over. And we'll talk about that. But I want you to take a look at this video and we'll come back and do what we do. Check it out.
11, we got brand new information after a police chase ended in a school bus crash in southwest Atlanta.
This is video from our 11 Alive Sky Tracker. In it right here, you can see a major scene this afternoon off of Mount Gilead Road, and the FBI has just confirmed one man is now behind bars after running from officers, shooting at them, and trying to hide in homes to get away. 11 Alive's Teresa Bowles has been following the story for us all night. She's joining us now live from that scene. Teresa, you say you actually spoke with someone who helped get kids off of that bus.
I did, and luckily APS says that the students inside of that bus and the driver are okay. Take a look of where that happened right across the street there. 18-year-old Jerron Peters was arrested after troopers say he shot at them. The scene is now clear, but it certainly caught the surrounding businesses off guard. This is what's left of the car that started it all.
Some young dudes had took the police on the chase, trying to run through the light, ran into a bus.
Demetrius Hudson couldn't believe what he was seeing. He ran outside and saw this, a damaged bus with students still inside. So he and others jumped into action.
It was leaking bad, and it was smoking, and he had like three to five kids on the bus. And like we telling the dude, like, being that it's smoking, you got to get them kids off that bus.
And he should know. He works at an auto shop on Campbellton Road in southwest Atlanta. Surveillance video from a convenience store on that same street shows what led up to the crash. First, you see the school bus pass the store. Moments later, you see a young man backing up in shock. Next, a few troopers pull up.
The police had the dudes who were driving the car at gunpoint.
Then at least one person runs with law enforcement running behind them. Hudson says there's a lake back in the woods. The suspects ran that way, and that's when he and everyone else heard gunshots.
Officers had ran a car off the road.
Clarence Mathis said he heard over a dozen rounds while working at Atlanta Meat and Fish Market.
Everybody went outside to see what was going on.
The GBI finally explained what was going on. Troopers tried to stop a suspected stolen vehicle. When the driver refused to stop, it crashed into a bus. The GBI says 18-year-old Jerron Peters and others ran from the car. Later, Peters shot at troopers and they fired back. He was eventually caught after trying to break into two homes and hide. Now the community that watched it happen is ready for things to get back to normal.
You'll probably see a car accident here and there, but nothing like this.
All right, guys, that's the news, and it's sad to see this happen with all these people involved. And that's what I'm going to talk about. You know, you got these kids out here, and don't get me wrong. Somewhere down the line, somebody failed this child. But a lot of times when it comes to these failures, a lot of people don't want to take the blame, you know, the ones that are responsible for it. A lot can come from this because we start to see a rise in just crazy behavior I mean, outrageous behavior. Like when I say outrageous, I'm talking about no differentiation or understanding of what's right and what's considered socially wrong. Here, this boy, 18 years old, got a car, goes on a chase, crashes into a school bus trying to evade police, jumps out the car, runs on foot, police in tow, fires a shot, gets shot. He's lucky he's alive. Now, reason why I said I'm doing this story is because you see a rise in this almost every day in any city. You can see this same scenario. People taking cars, people running from police, can't follow lawful orders, people committing crimes, especially these young folk, and then crashing the car and then trying to run with a bunch of people in the back seat. Pulling out guns, shooting at the cops, lawlessness. Now, I don't feel nothing for this young man. And it sounds messed up for me to say that, but I want you to hear why I say that. At 18 years old, he's considered a man. He knows this. So you step into a man's world, you're not in juvenile court no more, and all of this stuff. You out there doing crazy stuff. In life, you get what you get. We all are where we are because of one or two things, something we either did do or did not do. And he's where he's at because of his actions. But he's not the only one out here. Now, a lot of people say, oh, this go back to parenting and all of that stuff. You can be a good parent. You can have the wrong type of man or the wrong type of woman around your son or daughter, and they can stray them off the wrong path. Just their presence. It's just a lot of different scenarios with this. Anybody can say, hey, let's blame parenting. Let's blame this. Let's blame that. For the most part, a lot of these kids that are out here that are doing these crimes lack a male presence that they either respect or fearfully respect. Meaning, I'll give you an example. My grandfather raised me, right? You guys know this. Even now, at 96 years old, I have a fearful respect for this man. Even though he's frail and old, it's a fearful respect. Respect for who he was and the sacrifices he made for me. And respect because I remember at one point when he was trying to get me to stay on a straight path, he had power. And I know what that power was. And I remember how strong and, mentally and physically he was. And the way I know I didn't want to never get in trouble where I have to face that. A lot of these young kids out here don't have that, especially these boys. That's why they can come up to somebody that's older and talk to them and act like the person's on their level without no respect. Or they can attack somebody old. Another thing is this. A lot of times you see these crimes where these kids, these boys now are running around here just attacking women in the street, throwing them on the ground and robbing them stuff. You know why that is? Because a lot of them have deep-seated anger issues and sometimes hatred against their own mother. And that's why it's easy to attack a female in the street because they have issues at the house with their mom and they know that they ain't going to hurt their mom, but they'll do that to somebody else that either says something or sometimes does something that tries to correct them and reminds them of such mother. You guys agree or disagree with that? I remember when I was in school, after a certain amount, as you got older, one of the cool things to be was dumb or act like you're dumb. Act like you can't read, act like you can't do math, act like people laugh at you. You think you're getting, you the center of attention because people think you're funny and stuff, but really people are laughing because they think you're stupid. Now, let's move forward. Because remember, humanity changes. So do styles and so do generations and generations with different things of what's out here and the temptations towards our children. Now look at the day. Now it's cool to be vicious and heartless. Think about that. It's cool to be mean, walk around with a mean look on your face. It's like nobody wants to be, listen, How in the hell in the world that we live in right now, with everything we're exposed to and the advantages we have, to make life easier for us, is being a happy person and a lovingly emotional person and just a good person considered lame and corny? Think about that. I want you guys to really think about that. Everything in us that we're put on this planet that we have a right to have what we quest for the most is disdained by a lot of society. You can have an achievement of a goal. I want to buy a car. You might save up that money for 3 years. Get behind the seat, sit in the car, feel good about yourself, or maybe buy a home. Only to have somebody come up to you, usually somebody that should be in the house, sleep any damn way, or preparing for school, come and see what you did, what it is that it took you to build, and try to take it from you, and oftentimes take your life. And then the thing is this, these young kids nowadays out here don't know what awaits them when they go into plantation, aka prison. They're doing stuff and running around thinking they won't get caught. Let me tell you guys something. And I know a lot of you guys my age, you remember this. We're going to go back to fathers. Back in the day when we was boys, all the guys that listen to me, what would happen? In fact, girls too. What would happen when you got in real big trouble? Who would usually come get you from school? Or who would be the person, like when it's really bad, that they send? Your father. And that's the big shadow that you didn't want to come see through that door that overcast over you when you say, you know what? I really messed up. We don't have that no more. Now we usually got a mom that come to school. They tell her what she did. She breathed heavy. Just get in the car. You might get slapped upside the head a couple of times. Now you an older teen. She can't really hurt you. Get in the car. Or then you get to the point where you've done so much dirt. Your parents say, you know what? Just get out of my face. Just get out of my face. And you think that's an easy, you got off easy, but it doesn't help the situation. Let me tell you something. When your parents give up on you, the rest of the world will too. It's nothing out there. The streets is the streets. It's something people piss on, spit on, and walk on. Everybody wants to be from the streets. The same treatment the street get, you get. Nobody will feel pity for you when you're out there doing whatever you feel like you want to do and you're not fitting in with the normal order of society. And that's the main thing, order. Laws are put in place to maintain order. Police are out here to maintain order. Only the disorderly are the ones that have a problem with order. But they try to make their problem your problem. On my platform, I speak of such topics. If something's honestly wrong, I'll call it down the middle. But this story right here is totally messed up. Them children could have died. They said the thing was leaking gas and it was smoking. That thing could have turned into anything. And all this comes from is joyriding with a bunch of teens in the car. And then just run away after you make a big mess. I wonder if that bus caught on fire with them children inside and they were screaming for help, and they looked back and seen it, where they had stopped and said, you know what? I got to do something. No, they wouldn't, because life is like a big video game. It's hard enough to keep your children in the house. But it's nowadays, man, it's like so much is, put before children to occupy their time, to keep them quiet. And us as parents don't investigate what these children do, that is altering their mind state to where they have a false sense of reality. I've never seen so many people nowadays go out and blatantly do something to somebody and then cry victim when they either get caught, get their ass beat, or just get judged. I know you guys seen this. Think about this. I've seen videos where people get angry because they feel as though they got too much time sentenced to them in court. And they get mad. I shouldn't get 35 years. I only shot him. He ain't died. That's where we at right now. That's where we live, the life we live in. We need national reform on crimes. I think we need to take away juvenile detention centers. You do grown-up crimes, you know what I mean? You don't get no slap on the wrist. You ain't doing nothing at 16 and coming out at 18. You're not. There needs to be a line drawn to where you do this, that is the effect, cause and effect. We need to teach our kids that. We need a lot of things that needs to be fixed in this country because the problems that are out here are affecting everybody, whether you're a victim or you're the parent of a kid you can't control. I'm just saying, I'm not going to ramble no more, but you guys get the idea, man. Leave me a comment on this, man. Because, I mean, I don't even know how we can fix this because for every one child we try to get on a straight path, there are 5 others that are waiting to get away from good parents sometimes to get in the street. It's like nowadays, these younger kids are just trying to build a street resume, an individual resume to say how bad they was when they get older, but most of them don't even make it. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, man. That was on my heart and mind. I wanted to share that with y'all today. We got serious problems out here. And it goes beyond parenting because sometimes you can be a good parent and just have a bad kid. See you in the next video. Take care.